Have you ever wondered how an ancient Roman emperor managed to stay calm and composed amidst the chaos of running an empire? Let me introduce you to Marcus Aurelius, a man whose reign was marked not only by his wisdom as a ruler, but also his profound understanding of Stoicism. His book, Meditations, serves as a testament to his philosophical insights and the guiding principles of his life. Well, today we are going to delve into the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and his Meditations. To start with, let's explore the first major point in Meditations, the importance of understanding one's place in the universe. Now, imagine being a single star in a vast galaxy. There are millions, even billions of other stars just like you, each with its own unique qualities and light. But together, all these stars form the galaxy. They are all interconnected, all part of a larger whole. This is the perspective that Marcus Aurelius encourages us to adopt. Just like a star, you are unique and shine your own light. You have a role to play, a purpose to serve. But remember, you are also part of a larger whole, the universe. No star, no matter how bright it shines, is more important than the galaxy it forms part of. Similarly, no individual, no matter how influential or powerful, is greater than the collective humanity. This concept of perspective, of understanding one's place in the universe, is a fundamental principle in Meditations. It's a realization that helps us to let go of our ego, to understand that we are not the center of the universe. It humbles us and at the same time empowers us, reminding us that we are part of something much larger and grander than ourselves. And consider this: when you look at the vastness of the night sky, do you worry about the petty concerns of your day? Probably not. The vastness of the universe puts things into perspective. It makes our daily worries seem small and insignificant. This is the power of perspective that Marcus Aurelius talks about. In understanding our place, we thereby learn to let go of the trivial matters that bother us. We learn to focus on what truly matters, what can make a real difference. The essence, then, of Meditations is not just about understanding our place in the universe, but also about understanding the place of our problems, our worries, our desires. It's about recognizing what truly matters and letting go of what doesn't. Now, moving on to the second point, the power of reason and self-discipline. This is a central theme in the Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. Marcus Aurelius was a master of his thoughts and actions, using reason and self-discipline as his guiding principles. He believed that we can't control the world around us, but what we can control is how we react to it. Our perceptions, decisions, and actions are within our power, and we must exert control over them through reason and self-discipline. Think of it like this. Imagine you have a mountain of homework to do. It's late, you're tired, and you'd much rather be doing anything else. But you know that the work needs to be done. So you set aside your immediate desires, and you use your reason to understand the importance of completing your tasks. You discipline yourself to sit down and focus until the work is done. This is what Marcus Aurelius practiced every day, on a grander scale. He didn't just use these principles to finish tasks, but to navigate the complexities of ruling an empire and managing his own emotions. When faced with challenges, he didn't allow himself to be swayed by fear or anger. Instead, he used his reason to understand the situation and his self-discipline to choose the most virtuous course of action. This approach to life, this Stoic philosophy, is not just for emperors. We all face challenges and obstacles in our lives, and we all have the power to control how we respond to them. Whether it's finishing homework, dealing with a difficult situation at work, or managing personal relationships, we can apply reason and self-discipline to make the best decisions and take control of our lives. Like Marcus Aurelius, we can be the masters of our thoughts and actions. We can choose to react to the world around us with reason and self-discipline, rather than letting our emotions control us. Like finishing homework, life also requires discipline and rational thinking. So the next time you're faced with a challenge, remember the power of reason and self-discipline. Remember the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. As we continue to explore Meditations, wouldn't you want to keep learning and growing with us? Imagine the wealth of wisdom still waiting for you hidden within the pages of this ancient text. By subscribing to this channel and hitting the notification bell, you're not just staying updated on our content, you're making a commitment to your intellectual growth. So don't let the opportunity pass. Join us, and let's continue on this journey of learning together. The third point from Meditations is about accepting change as a natural part of life. Let's step into the mind of Marcus Aurelius, a man who lived almost 2,000 years ago, and see how he viewed change. To him, change was as natural and constant as the rising and setting of the sun. He recognized that everything in the universe, including our own lives, is in a state of constant flux. Think about it like the changing of seasons. Each year, without fail, winter melts into spring, spring blossoms into summer, summer fades into autumn, and autumn gives way to winter once more. It's a cycle, a rhythm that has persisted since the dawn of time. It's a process that we have come to accept and even anticipate, knowing that no matter how harsh the winter might be, spring will eventually come. This is precisely how Aurelius viewed change in life. He saw it as a natural, inevitable force, just like the changing seasons. He understood that life is not static but dynamic. Nothing remains the same forever, and that's okay. It's part of the natural order of things, but how does this insight help us? When we accept change as a natural part of life, it makes it easier to navigate through life's ups and downs. If we resist change, we're fighting against the very nature of the universe. It's like trying to stop winter from turning into spring, an impossible and futile endeavor. Instead, by embracing change, we can adapt and grow with it. We can learn to appreciate each season of our lives for what it is, knowing that it's all part of the grand cycle of life. We can use the wisdom of Aurelius to face the winds of change with grace and resilience. And remember, change is not necessarily a bad thing. It can bring new opportunities, new experiences, and new growth. It's all about perspective. Just as seasons change, so does everything in life. Acceptance of this fact makes it easier to navigate life's ups and downs. Finally, let's discuss the fourth point, the pursuit of virtue and moral excellence. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most respected Roman emperors, was a keen proponent of virtue, a concept he deeply explored in his Meditations. He believed that virtue was not just an abstract idea, but rather a practical guide for our actions and decisions. Let's consider a simple example. Imagine you have a friend who needs your help. They're facing a tough situation, perhaps a challenging work project or a personal crisis, and they reach out to you. Now you have two choices. You could choose to ignore their plea, continue with your routine, and prioritize your comfort. Or you could choose to lend a hand, to be there for them, sacrificing a bit of your time and comfort. This choice, to aid your friend, is what Marcus Aurelius would define as a virtuous act. Choosing virtue is not always the easy path. It often requires sacrifice, discomfort, and going against our innate, self-centered tendencies. Yet it is precisely in these moments of choice that our character is tested and our moral fiber strengthened. Now you might ask, why should we strive for virtue? Isn't it easier to just focus on our own needs and desires? To this, Marcus Aurelius would argue that the path of virtue leads not just to personal growth, but also to a fulfilled and meaningful life. For him, virtue was the highest good, the ultimate goal that should guide our actions and decisions. And so we come to the end of our journey through the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius, a journey that has hopefully given you a deeper understanding of his philosophy and how it can be applied to our modern lives. In the words of Marcus Aurelius himself, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. Let us all strive to incorporate this wisdom into our daily lives. We may not all become Roman emperors, but we can all strive to be virtuous in our actions and decisions, to lead lives of integrity, compassion, and moral excellence. So what can we learn from Marcus Aurelius and his Meditations? We've delved into his wisdom, understanding the importance of self-reflection, discipline, and virtue. We've seen how his teachings encourage us to be mindful of our actions and their impacts. Imagine applying these principles daily, cultivating a life of thoughtfulness and integrity. Remember, the wisdom of the past can guide us in the present. Let's embrace the teachings of Marcus Aurelius and strive to live a more thoughtful, disciplined, and virtuous life.